Have you ever asked yourself why some people always seem to be lucky, while others keep waiting for their chance? Is it really luck? Or is there something else? Hidden beneath the surface, most people spend years waiting for the perfect opportunity, the perfect moment, the perfect connection, the perfect life. But what if the opportunity never comes to those who only wait? Psychologist William James believed one of the greatest discoveries about human nature is that people can change their lives by changing the way they think. That idea may sound simple, but it has changed millions of lives. Because the way you think shapes the way you act. The way you act shapes the opportunities you notice, and those opportunities slowly become the life you experience. Most people call that luck. But perhaps luck is simply preparation, meeting opportunity. Imagine two people standing in the same room, the same people, the same conversations, the same possibilities. One person leaves with a new business partner. The other leaves, believing nothing happened. What was the difference? The room was the same. The opportunity was the same. Only one thing changed: the mind looking at it. William James believed we do not see the world exactly as it is. We often see it as we are. If your mind expects failure, it notices obstacles. If your mind looks for possibilities, it notices doors others never see. That is why some people create opportunities where everyone else sees problems. From the outside, it looks like luck, but from the inside, it is a habit, a way of thinking, repeated every single day. Perhaps the people you admire did not begin with more talent or more luck. Perhaps they simply trained themselves to recognize opportunities that most people walk past without even noticing. And maybe that is the first secret no one tells you. Luck is rarely something you find. More often, it is something you build. One decision, one habit, one action at a time. So before you say, "I was never lucky," ask yourself, have I been waiting for life to change? Or have I been becoming the kind of person who creates change? Because that question may change everything. And this is only the beginning. Think about the people you call successful from a distance. It often looks as if they were simply in the right place at the right time. But what you don't see are the quiet decisions nobody applauded, the failures that taught them, the risks others were too afraid to take. Over time, those small decisions created a life that everyone else mistook for luck. Perhaps real luck has never been an accident. Perhaps it has always been the result of becoming prepared before opportunity arrived. What if the biggest difference between successful people and everyone else is not talent, not intelligence, and not luck, but the way they respond to failure? Psychologist Carol Dweck spent years studying why some people keep growing while others give up. She discovered that the answer was not ability, it was mindset. Some people believe their abilities are fixed. When they fail, they think, "I'm simply not good enough," so they stop trying. Others see failure very differently. They ask, "What can this teach me?" Instead of walking away, they become stronger, not because failure feels good, but because they understand that every mistake contains information, every challenge contains a lesson, and every lesson moves them one step closer to success. Think about a child learning to walk. The child falls down again and again, hundreds of times, but the child never says, "Maybe walking isn't for me." Instead, they stand up every single time. Eventually, they walk, not because they were lucky, but because they refused to quit. Somewhere along the way, many adults forget that lesson. One rejection makes them stop. One mistake makes them doubt themselves. One failure becomes proof that success is impossible. Carol Dweck believed that success doesn't belong to the person who never fails. It belongs to the person who keeps learning. Perhaps that is why the people you admire most have failed more times than most people have ever tried. Every setback taught them something valuable. Every obstacle made them wiser. Every disappointment prepared them for a greater opportunity. From the outside, people called it luck, but they never saw the years of quiet persistence. The mornings nobody noticed. The sacrifices nobody applauded. Success rarely arrives all at once. It grows slowly. One decision, one habit, one improvement at a time. Maybe luck is not something that suddenly appears. Maybe it begins the moment you decide to keep moving forward, even when nobody believes you will make it. Because every small step taken today creates opportunities that your future self will one day call luck. Imagine if every setback was actually preparing you for something bigger. Most people turn around the moment life becomes difficult, but those who eventually succeed take one more step, then another, and another, not because they know success is guaranteed, but because they believe that every effort makes them a little stronger, a little wiser, and a little more prepared for the opportunity that hasn't arrived yet. Perhaps that quiet persistence is what people mistake for luck. Have you ever wondered why small actions can completely change a person's life? Most people believe success comes from one big opportunity, one perfect decision, one lucky moment. But author James Clear offers a different idea. He believes your future is built by the small habits you repeat every single day. Not once, not twice, but hundreds and thousands of times. Imagine two people both wake up on the same morning. One decides to learn something new for just 20 minutes. The other says, "I'll start tomorrow." One day passes, nothing changes. 1 week passes, still nothing seems different. But after 1 year, those tiny decisions have created two completely different lives. That is how real change happens, quietly, almost invisibly. Most people never notice the power of small improvements because they expect instant results. The moment they don't see success, they stop. James Clear reminds us that habits are like planting seeds. When you place a seed into the ground, nothing appears the next morning or the next week. Yet beneath the surface, something important is happening. Roots are growing slowly, silently, preparing for the day the tree finally appears. Success works in exactly the same way. The effort you make today may not reward you tomorrow, but it is preparing the person you will become. Perhaps that is why disciplined people often look lucky. People only notice the results. They never see the thousands of quiet choices made behind the scenes. The mornings, they woke up early. The evenings, they kept learning. The days, they continued, even when nobody believed in them. Every habit became another brick. Every decision built another step until one day people looked at them and said they're so lucky. But luck had very little to do with it. James Clear believed you do not rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your systems. Your daily habits quietly decide the direction of your future. Maybe the opportunity you are waiting for will arrive, but when it does, will you be ready? Because opportunity means very little if your habits have not prepared you to recognize it. Perhaps the greatest secret is not finding a better opportunity. It is becoming a better version of yourself, day by day, choice by choice, habit by habit. And when that happens, people will say, you were lucky, because every successful person was once a beginner, someone who doubted themselves, someone who made mistakes. The difference was not confidence, it was consistency. They kept moving, even when progress was invisible, and little by little, those ordinary days created an extraordinary future. Only you will know that your luck was built one ordinary day at a time. There is one thing almost every successful person eventually understands. Life will never be fair to everyone. Some people begin with advantages. Others begin with nothing. But according to psychiatrist Viktor Frankl, there is one thing no one can take from you: the freedom to choose your response. Frankl survived some of the darkest experiences a human being could ever face. Yet he discovered that even when everything is taken away, one choice always remains: how you decide to respond. Think about that for a moment. Two people can face the exact same problem. One person sees the end. The other sees a lesson. One gives up. The other grows stronger. The situation is the same. The choice is different. Perhaps that is where real success begins. Not when life becomes easier, but when you become stronger. Most people wait for confidence before taking action, but confidence rarely comes first. Action creates confidence. Every difficult step you take today makes the next one a little easier. Every obstacle you overcome changes the way you see yourself. Little by little, fear loses its power, not because fear disappears, but because you discover you are stronger than you believed. Viktor Frankl believed that meaning can be found even in suffering, not because pain is good, but because pain can teach what comfort never will. Maybe the hardest season of your life is not there to destroy you. Maybe it is preparing you for responsibilities you could never carry before. When you begin looking at problems as teachers instead of enemies, everything changes. You stop asking, why is this happening to me? And you begin asking, what can this experience teach me? That single question can completely change the direction of your life. Perhaps people do not create luck in one day. Perhaps they create it every time they refuse to give up, every time they choose courage instead of comfort, every time they move forward, even when nobody is watching. Years later, people will only notice the success. They will never see the fear, the failures, the sleepless nights, or the silent battles that built it. They will simply say, you were lucky. But you will know the truth, because every difficult decision you make today becomes part of the person you will become tomorrow. And one day you will look back, not with regret, but with gratitude, because the moments you once believed were holding you back were actually pushing you forward. Luck was never something you waited for. It became the reward for every choice you made when quitting would have been easier if you have stayed until this moment. Then perhaps you already understand that luck has never been what most people think it is. For years, you may have believed that successful people were simply in the right place at the right time. But now, you know, there is something much deeper. William James reminded us that changing your thinking can change your life. Carol Dweck showed us that every failure can become a lesson. James Clear taught us that extraordinary lives are built through ordinary habits repeated every day. And Viktor Frankl reminded the world that even when life becomes difficult, you always have the power to choose your response. Perhaps that is the real formula behind what people call luck. Not waiting, not wishing, not hoping that one day everything will somehow change, but changing yourself little by little, decision by decision, habit by habit, until opportunity finally arrives. And when it does, you are ready. Most people will only see the result. They will never see the discipline, the fear you overcame, the mornings you kept going, the nights you refused to give up. They will simply smile and say, "You were lucky." Let them believe that, because you will know the truth. Luck was quietly being built long before anyone noticed. Maybe the opportunity you are searching for already exists. Maybe it has been waiting for you to become the person capable of recognizing it. So stop asking, "When will luck find me?" Ask instead, "What can I do today to become more prepared for tomorrow?" Because that single question can change the direction of your entire life. Remember, every successful person was once unknown. Every expert was once a beginner. Every great achievement started with one small decision, because your future is not decided by the opportunities you missed yesterday. It is decided by the choices you make today. Every small action, every difficult decision, every moment you refuse to give up is quietly creating the life you will one day be proud of. Perhaps that has been the real secret all along. Perhaps today is yours. Thank you for watching until the end. If this video inspired you, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications. More videos about psychology, mindset, human behavior, and success are coming soon. Remember, don't wait for luck. Become the person who creates it. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.